Hi, welcome back to the light. Today we're going to be reviewing the icons in more detail, and we're going to start with the User Preferences and Tools icon, which is the red screwdriver and blue wrench on the top left hand of your screen. This is where you'll find your main settings and customization option, and it works the same way on the Mac and the PC. So let's click on the red screwdriver and blue wrench, and you'll see a pop-up window. And this has an additional 12 icons. We're going to look at the first two icons today, and we're going to start with the worksheet. We are going to click on the worksheet, and you will see another pop-up window opens called the Worksheet Properties. You can also access this window from another area of your chart on the top right-hand corner. So if we close this out and we click here, you'll see the same window pops up. You have two options where you can access this window. Let's begin and go through this pop-up window. The first thing you're going to see is Restore/Clear Fields and Screens. If we click here, you'll see there's 5 options. The first one is to clear all fields. And if we click on this, it's going to remove the existing layout from the screen. If we reset to the original, it's going to go back to our factory default. And you can see here this returned to the original screen we were on. If you select Reset All, it will restore all of your screen layouts to factory default. This is important because if you customize each worksheet and select this button, then all of your worksheets that have been previously customized are going to be restored to the factory setting. The last two options involve importing old screens. So if we click on the first one, Import Old Screens, this is in reference to importing screens that you have used from a previous version of Parashara's Lite, like 7.0 or 8.0. And you would have the option here to bring in those customized sheets so you don't have to recreate them. The second option, Import Screen, this refers to when, let's say, you have a new laptop and you want to install Parashara's Lite on your new laptop and you also want to bring in your pre-existing screens. You would use this option to do that. I personally just recreate the screens when I have migrated from one version of Parashara's Lite to the next. I think it's a little bit easier than importing the old screens, but that's my personal preference. So I'm going to close this out, bring back the pop-up window, and we are going to go to the next field, which is called Title. You'll see here it now says Birth Chart 1, and that references the factory default setting. We can customize this to say anything else we want. So I'm going to call this Practice Chart 1. If I click in the empty space in the worksheet area, you will see the Practice Chart 1 pops up. Just to be consistent with how things have been labeled, I'm going to revert back to what it was originally called, which was Birth Chart 1. And select the sheet under the worksheets, and you'll see it's going to revert back to what we originally had it called, Birth Chart 1. Next, we're going to review dimensions. The best way for me to show you how this works is actually to clear all the fields, and now we have an empty grid. If we click back on the worksheet properties and we look at dimensions, we will see there are many dimensions we can choose from. And it's important to know the first number refers to columns across or horizontal, and the second number refers to rows vertically. So if we click on 6 by 5, you will see there are 6 columns across and 5 rows down. If we click on 6 by 4, you'll see there are 6 columns across and 4 rows down. And if we keep going down this, you can play with it and just see how many columns across and how many rows down you would like and customize your layout that way. Another example is 4 by 3, 4 columns across and 3 rows down. I'm going to leave it on what it originally was, which is 3 by 3, Going to go here and reset to original, and we come back to what our chart looked like from the very beginning. Now we're going to take a look at the worksheet section. If you click on each of the worksheets, you will see that they change accordingly. You can also create a new screen at this juncture by just clicking New Screen, or you can also say Add Screen and it'll add a new screen. You can customize the number of charts or tables you want going across or down. I'm going to go back to Birth Chart 1. Following this, you'll see that there are 5 check boxes at the very bottom left-hand part of the screen. There's several options you can toggle on or off. I'm going to click on the first one, Show Change Time Tool, click OK. You can see there is a floating time adjustment window visible. There's a few different ways you can use this, but in general, if you switch this to the birth chart, because we are looking at a birth chart right now, you have the ability to adjust the increments of times in various components, all the way from seconds to 10 years. For example, I'm going to click on 10 years, and you will see that the year adjusted from 1997 to 2007. If I click it again, you'll see it now moves to 2017. And vice versa, if we keep going down these different elements of time, we can adjust them backwards or forwards. So if I click on the year right here on the minus sign, it's going to go back a year. Click it again, it'll go back another year. If I click on month, moving forward, you'll see it moves to November. And if I click on it going back, it's going to go to October. And you can do this with weeks, days, as well as the ascendant, the Navamsha, hours, and minutes and seconds. For example, if we want to see what another ascendant would look like, we'd click on the plus sign. And then if you want to go back one, you click on the minus. You'll often see things like this used in YouTube videos where astrologers go through the different ascendants or moon signs to show you the cosmic insights for the day, week, month, year, etc. So we are going to click out of this, go back into our Worksheets property window, and now we are going to click Change Time Toolbar. And you will see something similar, except now it's a toolbar on the bottom of your screen. And in a similar fashion, this works like the floating toolbar, except it's at the bottom of your screen. This is also something you'll see popularly used on YouTube when astrologers want to go through the different ascendants, moon signs for the week, month, year, etc. Always note, since this is a birth chart, we do want to click on this icon at the very left-hand bottom of the screen and make sure it's on birth chart. You also have the time interval here, which is similar to the floating time window that we saw before, and you can adjust things in the same increments of time. So if we click on 10 years and we click on step forward, you'll see that it moved 10 years to 2025. And I'm going to click on it again, and you'll see it moves to 2035. Similar to the floating time bar, you can use this in the same way. It's just your preference of if you want it permanently at the bottom of your screen or you would like it in the middle or the side of your screen. So it's a question of just how you like your real estate in terms of your chart workspace. I'm going to click out of that, and now we're going to go to Change Location tool. This tool is popular for relocation or astrocartography to see how changing the location alters your ascendant and Navamsa. You can move your cursor over the map to preview how the ascendant and Navamsa will change in real time depending on location. When you click anywhere in this map, you'll see what's called the focal point, which is your ascendant changing. And then where it says cursor, that references how the Navamsa will change. These lines stay fixed on the map because they represent the ascendant and Navamsa divisions across the entire Earth at the chart's original time. Once you find a location you want, you can simply click Update Chart. You'll also see over here a list of cities. This is not exhaustive like when you create a chart where you have all the cities in the world. This is a quick drop down of major cities in the region that you're viewing or close to it. So let's, for example, click on Mexico City, which is over here. And you can see as I click around here, the ascendant and the Navamsha will change. And if we want to update the chart based on Mexico City, we simply click Update Chart. Note it doesn't update here, but it does update here if you just want to look at it to see how things change. Moving to our favorite, if we click on any of the worksheets, click on Favorite, you will see them pop up under your favorites as well as in the menu. So we're going to click OK, and we'll see here where Chart 2 appears, and it's also under Charts. So that's one way that you can lock in your favorites. And the last one, Use as Home Screen. This is the screen that pops up when you create a new chart. Usually it is the birth chart one, but if for any reason you want any of the other worksheets to be your home screen, you can certainly just click on that and click on Use Home Screen. I'm going to uncheck it because I like my home screen set on its default, which is birth chart 1. And that is your worksheet properties window. Now we are going to move on to screen options. So if you're wondering what's the difference between worksheet and screen options are your global settings. They affect how all your worksheets look and how you'll navigate through the software, while worksheet properties cater to customizing specific worksheets with specific charts and tables. You can access the screen options here. You can also access it under Options, Screen and Toolbar Options. Similar to dimensions in worksheet properties, you can set the screen layout for all your screens. So keep in mind, this is not for individual screens, but this is for all screens in Parashara's Lite. I personally prefer to set up my screens under the worksheet properties because it allows me to customize each one. As with every worksheet, they tend to be different in your layout and how you like them to appear. But I did just want to let you know that this is another option if you would like all your screens to look exactly the same. Screen tabs allows you to switch between multiple charts using the tabs, as you can see up at the top. If we click out of this, you will see those tabs disappear, but you can also access the different worksheets here. I'm going to click them back on. Now we'll move to name and title bar. You'll see when we click OK, the name, date, time, and location shows up. Next, we move to show file path. You'll see the file path for each of the charts shows up. I generally leave this off because it looks a little busy, but it is an option if you would like to keep. Suppress side margins. This is when you're using a laptop or a device with a smaller screen. This allows you to get optimal and maximum use of the screen to see your charts and tables. I usually keep this on even when I'm using an external monitor or a laptop. Now we're going to move to the right-hand side of screen options that's called toolbar option. So I've clicked out of all these so I can show you what they look like. The first thing we're going to do is show toolbar. And you can see the toolbar appears. This is handy just for reference reasons, and it's really a personal preference if you want to keep it up there. The next one, show hints when hovering over the toolbar icons. This is helpful if you don't know what each of the icons stands for. So if you click on this, click OK, and then if we start hovering over each of the icons, you'll see a pop-up that'll tell you what each icon stands for. The next one is compact navigation. So you can see at the very top of the toolbar, there are 9 icons. If we click on compact navigation, our icons are now limited to 6 icons. So it really just consolidates the icons where you have drop downs under each icon that were once part of the actual toolbar. Favorites list and favorite buttons allows you to go to what you had marked as your favorites on the worksheet properties window. So if we click on both of those, you will see the icon here, and you'll also have this. which is another way to see your favorites. I personally just keep the button and not the list, but that's a personal preference. We're going to look next at name and birth date. As you can see, it's the top of the toolbar, whether you have this checked or not. But if you do check it, you'll just see right at the top of the toolbar, the date will be repeated again. So not too much to say on that one. Second to the last one is automatically show interpretation hints. If we click this, click OK, to the left of the chart, wherever you click, you'll see some hints about that. So I clicked on the fourth house. It's telling me things about the fourth house, its sign, its symbol, etc. If I click on the 10th house, it does the same thing, the 8th house, etc. I generally keep this off because it's easy to click anywhere in the chart and have that pop up. But again, this is a personal preference. The last one I want to show you is icons. If you want to change the size of your icons, you can simply click here and change them to whatever you would like. Just remember, you'd have to reboot the computer for that to take into effect. Stay tuned for the next lesson to continue our deep dive into the icons. Thanks for listening.